products, or the favorite product, of course, is the age pill. And the reason I love that product is it works so well for so many people for so many different things. You know,
That's right.
it doesn't just help with one thing, it helps with so many things across the body. And just recently, I decided to go back to taking a double dose. So now,
You know, certain things, I'm not going to mention them. There's a lot of people who are having cardiovascular issues,
right,
right? And I don't have any cardiovascular issues, but you can darn well bet that I'm going to be telling people how they can lower their risk of cardiovascular issues. And again, that's testimonials. That's why you want to listen to the testimonials, because maybe it doesn't affect you, but you might know somebody who has that problem, and you want to be able to refer to them and say, hey, listen to this. I think it might help you.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and exactly. And even as you just said, helping someone else, but it's also helping yourself. If you become familiar with all the different things that it can help with, then if you have that problem later on, or at some point in the future, or someone in your family, you'll know where to go, because you can actually listen to that information, share it with them, and then say, hey, why don't we try this? And so I think that's a great idea. So we've covered that pretty good. So I guess let's talk about some of the other products that you're using that you really love, that you wouldn't, Curt, that you wouldn't go without, that you make sure.
Triangle of life.
Yeah, okay.
Triangle of life.
Triangle.
I mean, I open my fridge door, it's right there. I got 2 bottles of Fucoid, and I've got 2 bottles of Eternity. I got 2 bottles of Spectrum right in my fridge all the time, because as I rotate the stock, I don't want to forget one, and I like to drink it cold.
Right.
You don't have to, but I like to drink it cold, so I don't want to take and I don't measure it out either. I just take the cap off, and I drink it down. Oh yeah, so
how much are you drinking? You
don't some days I might, like, if I feel like a cold coming on, sinus stuff, if I feel like I'm kind of getting what I call the crud, I'll do 3-4 doses of Fucoid in a day.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't measure it. I just drink it right out of the bottle. Yeah. And then so I run out faster than probably most people.
Right. Well, you can do that though. You can drink it out of the bottle and have those extra doses when you need it, if you've got spare on hand. As you said, you've always got a few bottles. So if you run through one because this week you were feeling, a bit under the weather, I'm like, oh, well, I don't mind that I do that, because I'm investing back in myself. I'm going to feel better sooner. I'll be back doing more of my work sooner. And so, using that extra Fucoid, I think is a good investment. And so definitely having those.
And I get paid to drink it.
Yeah, exactly. So
right.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was on my little 2-week trip here this week, and I drove out to the West Coast and saw my kid out there, I had 2 bottles of Fucoid, and I had 2 bottles of Eternity. I had 2 bottles of Spectrum Max in my cooler. And when I'd stop along the road, at a rest stop, and I'd let the dog run around, I'd take a shot. And people ask me, well, what are you drinking? And what is that? And I just tell them, I said, hey, I'm traveling. I'm spending a couple of days. I spent 14 hours on the road. I mean, it's extra stress on your body.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what about the Eternity? So for me at the moment, I'm doing, I guess, sort of health blitz with it at the moment. So I'm on like 4 or 5 doses of the Eternity at the moment. And the reason, and so I guess to share with everyone the reason that is, so, Curt and I have discussed in detail about the ingredients in Eternity. Of course, the key ingredient in Eternity is the resveratrol. And in discussions that we've had, we worked out, or we were told also, I think it was from Tom at some stage, or might have been, it definitely is from corporate, but it is 350 milligrams, I think, of resveratrol per serving.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I was reading a study. So, Sinclair, who's a big advocate of anti-aging, and he loves the ingredient resveratrol. So I went, you can go and look this up. So definitely do this. If you go into PubMed and you type in resveratrol, you should see all the things that come up that people take resveratrol for. There's just a whole bunch of things. And of course, we can't make claims about our product. I'm not talking specifically about our product, talking about the ingredient, but you want really good doses of resveratrol going into your body. And, my doctor said to me, Are you taking a resveratrol product? You need to be on a resveratrol product. And even Dr. Mark Hyman, he's, you know, a doctor that talks about certain supplements that everyone should be taking as just a part of their health regime. And one of them at the top of the list, again, is resveratrol. So the reason is resveratrol helps to turn on that sirtuin gene. It acts like an antioxidant. It helps to protect the body. And coupled with that ingredient in the Sisel product, we've got all those other fruit pigments, you know, like raspberry extract, and there's a whole list of extracts that are in that product that are antioxidants. So you've got a really powerful product there. It's also got green tea extract in there as well. So you've heard about all the benefits of green tea. So if you are on the call, or if you're listening to the recording, you know, have a look at the ingredients in that product. I mean, they really are amazing. There's just so many benefits to those. And the polyphenols, they're really, really important in protection, you know, against all sorts of things. And you know, I'm always careful about what I say, but you know exactly what I'm saying. So you know exactly what I'm saying. So, you know, it's just polyphenols is another great ingredient. So all these ingredients, and if you were to take that product and try and go and buy those ingredients separately, it would actually cost you just a fortune. And we've got them all packed in this one product. So I love that product. You've got some excellent testimonials on that product. So how much of the resveratrol do you like to take, and how much do you recommend, you know, people taking?
You know, minimum, I get my 1 dose a day, and who knows what's in that dose. I might actually, my 1 dose might be 2 doses. I don't know. I just drink it out of the bottle. But, you know, Eternity resveratrol, you know, it works together with the H pill.
Yeah.
The sirtuin genes, and, you know, and the stem cells, all that, it all works together. And then, you know, and then Katie, we don't want to skip Spectramax. Spectramax, you know, there's 74 trace minerals. And when we say trace, it means it's a little bit, but they're essential trace minerals as well, which means that you need them.
Yeah.
You can't skip them. And a lot of people do. A lot of people miss out on some of those essential trace minerals. You know, I read a study that was put out by Harvard a number of years ago, and they said that close to 95% of people are missing at least 5 essential trace minerals.
Yeah, wow.
95% of people.
Yeah.
That means only 5% of people are getting their dosage of the essential trace minerals. And so Spectramax, again, you know, I don't really know how much I'm getting, not because I'm just taking a swig out of the bottle. Some days I might get a single dose. Some days I might get a quadruple dose. I don't know. But you really want to take that. Plus, there's 40 antioxidants in there as well.
Yeah, and there's just, yeah, I've brought up the ingredients list, and I hadn't looked at it for a long time. There's ingredients in there that I wasn't even aware of. You know, it's even got broccoli sprouts is in the Spectramax. So it's got vegetable extracts in there as well. It is absolutely packed full. So again, if you're on the call, have a look, or listening to a recording, have a look at the ingredients in Spectramax. I mean, that you will be amazed at what's packed into that product. It is absolutely phenomenal. And I love that product. And when you talk about the importance of nutrition and having those minerals, you know, I don't go past my best friend either, Curt. You know, we both love our dogs, and I'm sure there's a lot of dog lovers on the call too. You know, my dog gets, I don't feed my dog the vet recommended stuff, you know, the packaged processed foods. I don't feed it the tinned or the beads or the dry food. My dog gets fresh meat. He gets beef with vegetables, but then I supplement that meat with the triangle of life. So he's getting those ingredients too. He's getting those trace minerals, the antioxidants. He's getting resveratrol. He's getting fucoidan. And I mean, if you've seen my dog, his coat is just absolutely fabulous. He looks beautiful. He's bouncing around, lots of energy, really sharp. I mean, you know, that for me is my personal insurance policy a bit against him going to the vet, unless it's an emergency, you know, probably an accident. His health has been excellent, as has my previous dog, you know, been excellent too, right up until the very end. So I think, you know, that's proof too, right? You've seen dogs turn around taking that product. Didn't you have a friend whose dog was not responsive, and you gave the dog some triangle of life and it started bouncing around?
Yep. Yeah. And while you look at Chewy's 14 years old. I mean, we go for a 2 to 3 mile walk every single day, and he's not as fast as he used to be, but half the time he's walking in front of the 2-year-old the 2-year-old dog.
Yeah.
And you know, and that says something, you know, like Katie said, look at their coat. Do they have a nice shiny coat, or are they kind of dull and dry? And you know, you can tell a lot by that, you know. So it's important. You know, Katie, here's another one that I'm not missing. I haven't missed this one now in 2 years, right? It's a Sisel Sport.
Yeah.
I drink it. I love it. I love the taste of it. If you haven't drank that, if you're on the call and you haven't tried Sisel Sport, you really need to try it. It's a pink lemonade. I like to I mix it up double. Some people say they don't like it as strong as what it is. I throw 2 scoops in there because I really like that lemonade flavor. And so I make a double dose of it. I drink one in the morning. I drink one at night. And I take that with my Sizzle Thin. Sorry, I was having a brain fart. And yeah, I take the Sizzle Thin, and some people say, well, you know, how many Sizzle Thin do you take? I take 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
I take 3 at noon, and then I usually take 2 at night.
Wow. Wow.
But I've lost over 60 pounds, Katie.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say, you've had phenomenal results, Dr. Curt, just fantastic. And so again, you're a product of that product, and you love taking it, and it's got results for you. And so how does it make you feel, the Sizzle Thin? So how are those 2 products together helping you with your weight loss? Maybe just share.
Well, here's what I notice is that when I take the Sizzle Thin and the Sizzle Sport, the Sizzle Sport tends to give me energy. It's like an energy drink for me. You know, and I don't like the energy drinks, you know, like Red Bull and Monster and stuff like that. I just don't like the taste of it. I don't like the aftertaste. I like the taste of Sizzle Sport. And when I take the Sizzle Sport and the Sizzle Thin, I don't know which one's doing which, but I notice I can go all day long without eating. I mean, like if I get busy, like today I got busy, I was doing some stuff outside, tilling my garden, getting the garden ready, you know, and I just got busy. And I skipped lunch, and I came in, you know, just a couple hours ago, and I had just a light meal, and I got busy and did some more work outside, came back in, and here it is. It's 8:30, and I don't have any hunger.
Wow.
You know, so what that does for me, and I don't advocate skipping meals. I just say that it controls my hunger so well that on days like today when I got busy, I can skip a meal and I don't notice it. But what that allows you to do is it allows you to control what you eat. And that's important. That's important because, you know, I think that, and I'm just going to say it based on what I've read. The reason that many of us are overweight is because we eat low nutrition food. So your body is sending you a signal, more nutrition, more nutrition, more nutrition, but you don't understand the language that your body's using, that your brain is using, and all you hear is eat, eat, eat.
Right.
So then you go back to the fridge, you grab more of the food that doesn't have any nutrition, and then you just keep eating. You're getting more of this low nutrition, high calorie food, and you start packing that on. You know, and a lot of people that say, well, I'm doing keto, oh, I'm doing high protein, oh, I'm doing, you know, this diet, that diet, whatever. The thing is that let's get you on a high nutrition diet, because it's the signal from your brain is saying nutrition, and what you're doing is you're just hearing eat because you don't understand the language. And that's what Sizzle Thin and Sizzle Sport allow me to do, is it allows me to look at those labels and decide I'm going to eat some of this and some of that, rather than eating whatever's handy.
Yeah, definitely. And that Sizzle Sport giving you that real boost of energy, because often people can feel, when you feel tired and you haven't had enough sleep, I find I naturally try and reach for food, because you're trying to wake yourself up, and you feel like if you eat some more, you know, you might wake up and get some more energy. And that's just kind of almost like a natural instinct to do that. And the product Sizzle Sport's really going to help with that, because it's going to help make you feel that awake and not so tired, especially if you haven't had as much sleep as you'd like. And so that supports you. Then along comes in the Sisel Thin, and the two work beautifully together. Now you add the age pill to that, and the Eternity, you know, there's a great combination. Because, you know, if we talk about anti-aging, you know, anti-aging, you know, to live a long, healthy life, you want to have a healthy weight too. You know, you don't want to be overweight, and going up and down with your weight all the time either is not ideal. So you want those things to support you. So I think those sound great, you know, all those products. I don't take the Sisel Thin. I do recommend it, but I don't need the Sisel Thin in terms of weight management. I've got that under control.
Under control.
Yeah.
But
you know, I have tried the product because I don't, you know, I've tried everything in the Sisel range. So that definitely is a great product. So is there, what else in your cupboard that you?
Well, let me ask you. Yeah, you know, I've been talking about what I take. What do you take?
Like, I'll rattle off. So I've got the Inner Chi for her, for the hormone balancing. You know, we need the balancing the hormone with all the xenoestrogens and the problems with the environment for women and stuff like that. So definitely that one. Also, it can help with women. You know, I've heard testimonials. Again, we can't make claims, so I could say this is just a coincidence. But, you know, it's funny that there's ingredients in that product that support hot flashes. So, you know, hot flashes, whatever you like to call them, could be a flash too. So if people are having problems with that, so it does support that. So I love that product, and I think that's fantastic. We've got, you know, the Triangle of Life, we've got the Age Pill, the Stemolytic. You know, we talk about senescent cells as part of the aging process. The Stemolytic, in fact, I'm on jumped up to a double dose on that one too. I'm going to bundle them all for the next 3 months and really have a blitz, a nutrition blitz. And then the other product I've got in there, of course, so we've got the Triangle of Life. I love the TSX, Curt. You know, we don't talk about this one at all, but I know that you and myself, I came into really Sisel. One of the things that attracted me was the TSX. I think it came out in about 2012 when there was that other competitive product that was really big, without, I guess, mentioning the names.
Well, we can mention the name, TA65.
TA65. And how much were they selling that product for? Wasn't it $2,000 or $10,000 a month?
Well, it's not. I mean, if you're trying to get the same dosage that you're getting with the single dose of the TSX,
yeah.
One of my patients, he was taking TA65, and he was taking $3,000 worth of TA65 per month.
Yeah, wow.
And I showed him the TSX, and I said, here, compare it. Compare the dosage of what you're actually getting, the astragalus and the bacopa extract. Compare the dosage of what you're getting with that versus this. You know, and this is just my opinion. I can't say this has been scientifically analyzed, right? You know, Tom and I sat down and he showed me the differences. And you know, he started taking the TSX and was getting the same results without having to spend all that money.
Yeah, and so it's just fantastic. And so for everyone who's listening to the recording or on the call, you know, the TSX, as Curt says, got those ingredients, the back of sides, is that how you pronounce it? And the astragalus. And so these are ingredients that actually support the tips or caps of our chromosomes, and which is really important, because when our cells replicate, we want as perfect as copy as we can get. Of course, we're not going to get that, because every time one of your cells replicates is not as good as it was before, because that's part of the aging process. That's because we're getting DNA damage on a daily basis just from being out in the air, and the UV light, the toxins, and just living and breathing creates damage. And so we want to try and maintain and support the body to repair, because we can't make claims about the products. But if you do the research on that, we want to keep those telomeres healthy so we don't have those mistakes. So you can do tests, can't you, Curt? You can do a telomere test. You can get a baseline, then you can go on the product, take it for 3 months and compare. And I know that there are a number of people that actually did that test for themselves. I think Jackie Christensen did that, and it's actually posted in one of the groups, and I'll share it after this call. But someone in there did a test before and after taking that product, and there was an improvement in the length and health of their telomeres. So, you know,
I haven't done it for a while, but I remember when I first got started, you know, TSX is what got me into Sisel, because I just learned about TA65. I was on my way to an anti-aging seminar. I was one of the speakers there down in St. Louis, and I was driving through Omaha, and a friend of mine said, hey, have you heard of Sisel? And I said, no. And he said, here, listen to this. And he gave me a couple of recordings, and I listened to it from Omaha to St. Louis. And one of them was Tom talking about the TSX. And I'm like, boom, I'm in. You know, that, I mean, it just hooked me, you know, hold me in.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And but you know, the TSX is such an important product, and when you combine it with everything else. But you know, Katie, I had my telomeres tested, and at that time I was 8 years. That was 8 years ago. I'm 60 now. I was 52 then. But when I had my telomeres tested, my telomeres had aged back to where I was at 42.
Oh, wow.
So I reversed my age by 10 years based on my telomeres. Now, you know, is it strictly because of the TSX? I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that it's a combination of everything, because I tend to eat healthy. I don't eat a lot of junk food. You know, if you went in my fridge right now and you're looking for a snack, you're not going to find one. You know, you're gonna find cooked buffalo. You're going to find cooked asparagus, you know, and things like that. But you know, so is it just due to the one product? No, it's due to a combination. And in my opinion, everything works together. You know, like Katie's talking about resveratrol. Resveratrol ramps up the sirtuin genes. The sirtuin genes fix that DNA damage. Stemolytics removes the damaged stem cells, and TSX takes and extends the end of the end of the chromosomes, the telomeres. So they all work together. If you're taking one, you should be taking all three.
Yeah.
You know.
And you can buy them in packs, which is really great. If you buy the age pill with the TSX, you get an absolute bargain. You know, you can get for 160 US, you can get a bottle of the age as well as a bottle of TSX. So those packs are just outstanding value for money. So
yeah,
I mean, I guess we could keep talking all night. I'm noting the time here. We're just on the half hour.
yeah.
We could talk for a long time. We could go another hour.
Yeah, you know, and maybe next week we continue it. But what I'd like to just say is that, you know, okay, so we're taking the TSX and the Stemolytics and the Triangle of Life, and I'm taking, you know, the Sisel Thin and the Sisel Sport, and we're both taking the age pill, and Katie's taking a double dose of the age pill. And some days I take a double dose, some days I don't, but I'm taking at least 6 a day. On top of that, you know, if I look over at I'm looking at my countertop over here. You know, I can see the brain vitality over there. I can see the calcium product over there. I can see the super omega over there. And you know, just, I mean, that's the ones that I can just see from right here that I'm taking. I don't use the Sizzling very much, but sometimes I do. I just, you know, I'm not a big protein shake guy. I've just never gotten the habit of drinking protein shakes.
But when you're in a hurry, like if you're a meal on the run, you'll go for that though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, when I'm like last week when I was on the road, I brought it with me, because I bring a gallon of spring water, and I put my Sizzling in my shaker glass. I dump in the water, shake it up, down the road I go.
Yeah.
I don't have to stop to eat.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it would be good to continue the conversation, and maybe we could make next week part 2 of part 1, and let's cover the other products, because obviously there's quite a number of products that are in your cupboard and my cupboard, and we haven't had time to talk about them all. And it would be good, because I think it's good for us to share this information with people and let them know why we take it, why we're taking it, why it's important to us, because then they can go away and have a think about that, do a bit of research, and it may be something that could really help them, which I truly deeply believe that it could, and I believe it would, if people were, you know, taking it. That's my opinion.
And if you're on the call, or if you're listening to the recording and you want to jump on and say why you take a certain product, you know, get a hold of Katie or I and let us know. Just say, hey, I'd like to get on the call, and I'd like to just explain why I take this product or why I take that product. You know, it might just be, you know, hey, because my dad told me to.
Right. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Katie, thanks for being on every week. You know, I sure appreciate it. You're just such an asset to the team, helping us get this stuff out there, get the information out to people, you know, and folks, you know, think about it. You know, it's a volunteer thing. You know, we don't get paid to be on these calls. And, you know, but it helps build the team. And if you want to build a team, start jumping on a call and just, you know, even if you jump on the panel and every once in a while you say, yeah, if that's all you do, you're part of the panel.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.